Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are going to start a new show, which is called Astro-Bodies. And you'll probably notice that I'm showing my body. I'm not a big fan of showing my body, but I thought for this show I really have to show my body. Here, I'll show you my tattoos. Like, there's one of my tattoos, and I have a tattoo right here, and that's part of my body, and I got some skin here, and just like, I got my belly down here. Like, if I go crazy, I might show you my belly. But the reason I'm showing my body is because this show, Astro-Bodies, is going to be about everything physical and astrology. Now, there's a continuum of thinking in the world that's kind of the Virgo-Pisces opposition or continuum, where we look at bodies from a lot of different ways. Like the Pisces side of things is kind of says we are all made under God's earth. This is a circus. Everyone can be beautiful in the circus. All bodies are beautiful. And that's the kind of ubiquitously loving Piscean framework that we can take towards bodies. We could say, bodies of all shapes and sizes can be healthy and happy. A thin body is not better than a big body, all these kinds of things. And, that would be my bent. I'm a Pisces moon. I'm definitely a, like, all bodies are beautiful kind of person. I just love... I'm a belly worshiper personally. Like, my baby doll has a big belly, and I chose him for that reason. I love big bodies. So the thing is, I'm a Pisces moon, and I deal with a lot of Virgos who say that no, we should have a thin body, and there's a food pyramid, and this is a certain way you should look according to, the food BMI and the food pyramid, and a lot of Virgos are doctors and things like that. And so the thing about Virgo bodies is they're born with these small little bodies, a lot of them, and so they think everyone should be built that way. If we look into one of my favorite books about bodies and astrology that ever lived, the Astrological Body Types by Judith Hill, let's just look at the difference between a Piscean body and a Virgo body. Because, a lot of Virgos, now we do have big Virgos, of course. It depends on the whole chart, but here's the classic picture of a tiny Virgo body. Now, a lot of Virgos, they live in the kind of midriff, they live in the side chakra that lives right here, and so they kind of are just in their little bodies thinking that everyone else should have a little body, but that's just how they grow, because according to astrophysiognomy, or the study of people, growing physical forms, we grow on a helix of light, and the physical body is a dense step down of the auric body. Now, Judith Hill would say in her pivotal book here that some bodies are growing on a big helix of light that wants a big body. Here's an example of a Piscean body that's a little bit more on the round side of things, and this is, I'm a Pisces moon, and here, I'll show you my Piscean belly. Look, there it is. Oh my God, I got a little belly there. Now I'm a Gemini rising, so I'm kind of lithe as well, but I have a lot of water in my chart, and I definitely have a water belly. So that's the thing, is the Piscean look often looks more like this, right? Now some Pisces are lithe and they look like this, but the point is there's a certain line of thinking that we should all be thin and that is healthy. And then there's the kind of more fat activist side of things, is like there's the no lose movement that says no, we shouldn't try to lose weight ever, and kind of thing. Well, I don't know if that they say ever, but you know what I mean. Like, it's like, don't try to lose your weight, just love your body. And I'm more on that side of the equation. In this show, Astro-Bodies, we're going to study what people look like according to their charts. Maybe we can get Judith Hill on the show, who wrote this book. She is the queen of astrological body types. I really encourage you to get this book if you want to learn more about how people look according to their chart. We're going to also have some people on the show who say no, fat activism is causing people to be unhealthy, and these are people with a lot of like Virgoic placements in the chart, and but are we going to only talk about weight, fat activism versus medical activism? I guess you could say they're kind of a continuum. No, we're going to talk about all things physical and astrology. Here, let's look at some other things. We can medicalize things to do physical astrology. Here's another book by Judith Hill, Medical Astrology for Health Practitioners. Okay, I've never read this book, but maybe I'll read this book during the show, because, okay, we got some medical astrology. There are a lot of medical astrologers out there, and we can look at medical issues in this show, because that is bodily astrology. right? We're not going to medicalize bodies for the whole show. We're going to celebrate bodies, in fact, and we're going to demedicalize things. You know, obesity is the word that we use to medicalize big, beautiful bodies. I would like to demedicalize big bodies and say that they are a beautiful, according to their chart, they're growing exactly what their chart wants to grow. Some helixes of light want to grow big bodies. And, you know, if you ever, do you ever look out and you think, if big bodies weren't viable, then why would I be seeing so many of them so many, you know? God, or the creator or creation itself, has made people in big bodies, and astrology supports this. So astrology says that some bodies are meant to be big. Okay, so of course we'll be studying body positivity books like Your Body Is Not an Apology, Tools for Living Radical Self-Love. Sonia Renee Taylor is just innovative on loving your body no matter what the size. It's activism for me to show my belly on the screen. Oh my God, there it is. I'm loving my beautiful body, right? My body is not an apology. I'm not going to apologize for my belly. I have 6 planets in water. If I didn't have a belly, I wouldn't even, that would be observable evidence against astrology, which would be offensive to me. So I'm so glad I have my belly. Your Body Is Not an Apology. We're going to study authors like Sonia Renee Taylor. This is activism. Astrology, we are activists for body positivity because we say, you look just like your chart. You know, a lot of times I'll get clients in my chart and they say, or in my office, they say, when will I lose weight according to my chart? And oftentimes I have to come back with a picture of their chart right at them and say, you look just like your chart, and I would not propose that you lose weight. And, you know, maybe there's no transit coming up that would lose weight, but, you know, people do fluctuate with weight depending on their transits to their chart. So absolutely, there might be transits where we lose weight, but we should never look at those as the right transits to covet, because, you know, there are also transits where we gain weight and we eat a lot. And so God made those transits too. I mean, God made us, or the creator or creation itself made us to want to eat sometimes. We go through transits where we want to eat. And so I would posit that astrology is body positive and says that we do want to eat at certain times, and that is okay. And that is one of the transitions that we go through in life, is eat and be merry at times. We're going to look at the soul and how it gets in the body. We're going to study this book, Ensoulment, written 2,000 years ago. How does the soul get in the body? We can also study the subtle body. Here's this book, An Encyclopedia of Your Energetic Anatomy. So we're going to look at the subtle body, the aura and chakras, and say, how does that relate to the chart? Absolutely, the chakras are, the chart wires your chakra build, and we will talk about the chakric body and how that, builds itself. Of course, how your chakras are aligned will depend on which, do you grow bigger or smaller? It depends on how your chakras are aligned. Some people have wildly spinning chakras that like to enjoy life and eat food, and some have tinily spinning chakras that deprive themselves of food. I have absolutely dealt with what we would call anorexic charts, and that is built into the chart, from what I can see. Maybe we can have some experts on about that topic. Okay, here's a cool book, the Well Body book. Notice the caduceus on the front of this book. The sun and moon eye wire down to the Ida and the Pingala, which are the caduceus. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, was also an astrologer and knew, this symbol comes from the sun and moon eye and those energy channels. This is astrology, basically the caduceus. So this book is about healing your own body and having a well body. So, we are definitely going to talk about how to heal yourself. I grew up as a Christian Scientist where we learn to heal our body through the spirit, and so we will absolutely be looking at that side of the equation, how to heal your body through the spirit, because that is body and spirit combined. All right, here's another book about the spirit and as body, Esoteric Anatomy, the body as consciousness. Look, we get the caduceus again. So we're going to look at this book, Esoteric Anatomy, and look at the anatomy of the aura. How does, what can we learn there? Okay. Do you guys want to see my belly again? It is serious. This thing is serious. Look at it. Oh my God. If this makes me less attractive to you, then I don't know what to say. That's your problem. That's a you problem. Because yeah, I mean, some people like bellies. Like I said, I'm a belly worshiper. I don't necessarily worship my own belly because I have a Saturn in Leo and I'm actually kind of shy. But, you know, I definitely worship the belly of my bodyguard and boyfriend. Okay, now we can look at some books like this: Weight Loss God's Way, the proven 21-day weight loss devotional Bible study. Now, why would we want to study something like this when we're saying that all bodies are beautiful? Well, sometimes we go through transits like Saturn over the moon, which makes us want to lose weight just because that's a transition of spirit. It's also okay to get a smaller body sometimes because your soul goes through times where you want to get smaller, and that's okay. I'm just saying we shouldn't get smaller because a bunch of Virgos told us to. I'm saying we should get smaller because our body, our soul wants to. I'm definitely going to make someone mad with this show. Whatever, bodies make people mad. But that's not my problem because I am a body positivist. I think all bodies are beautiful and what we want to do with our bodies is beautiful. Okay, become younger. What? This is a weird book I found in some like weird place. This is a book about how you can become younger if you want to do a bunch of medically weird things. But that would be an interesting one to study of like how do aging, bodies and aging, ageism. You know, God, this is annoying. I'm just going to leave it down. I'm leaving it down on my body. My body is holding this shirt and it's going down. Okay. How to get dressed, a costume designer's secrets for making your clothes look feel amazing. We are going to talk about how to dress any body beautifully. You know, it's all about your costuming. It's like the bigger body, the more costume you can get on it. Like when you're in the circus, you can put more black and white stripes on a big body. So I love big bodies for that reason. How to get dressed is looking at how to dress your body so that you feel good in it no matter what your body looks like. Okay, polarity therapy, the complete collection works of the revolutionary healing art and the originator of this system. This is medical care that, back to that Cadeicus, that looks into your energy body. And, oh, look, there was the baby in the womb and the chart around it. So here we have all kinds of body being formed in the womb with the chart around it. So this book really looks at astrology in the body and how we can heal bodies through polarity therapy, which I love all non-medically, non-Virgo healing methods. I'm just a Pisces moon with no Virgo on my chart. I'm not saying you guys shouldn't go to doctors. I'm just an activist. And I'm an activist and an astrological extremist. I'm a Christian scientist who believes in healing the body through the spirit. Your chart can heal itself however it wants to, but on this channel, which is my channel, we will talk about healing your body through the spirit. Here's a book given to me by JP of the Portland School of Astrology. It's called Astrology, Nutrition, and Health. So we might look at nutrition according to this book on astrology and nutrition. Here's another book by Judith Hill, Medical Astrology. I've used this so much I don't have the cover on it, but this is literally the best medical astrology book that ever lived. I better talk about. Oh my God! Oh dear! Oh my God! Oh! Did you see my body? Oh my God! This is coming down right now. My body is crazy. My body is distracting me. I never show my body. Okay, the Encyclopedia of Medical Astrology. This is super cool by Cornell. He was a doctor. Look at how many cases he had of medical cases in astrology. So here's another example of medicalizing the body with astrology. We can, heal the body through astrology. I save hundreds of thousands of dollars on doctor bills by being my own astrologer, medical astrologer. That is for sure. Okay. Here's one of my favorite existential philosophers, Lily Liu. You should look them up online. This is when they had a lot of tattoos on their face, but they are now covered fully head to toe in tattoo. But basically studying tattoos and how they are expressed in the chart is absolutely something we're going to do. People get tattoos to the colors of their chart all the time. They get tattoos down the line of certain parts of their chart. They get tattoos in, astrologically themed tattoos. But, I just think, studying the philosophy of living a tattooed life, what does that look like? Why do some charts have more tattoos than others? Maybe we can interview some tattoo artists on this show, but definitely, marking your body with your spirit is one of the things that we do. Okay. Here's another weight loss book, Mini Habits for Weight Loss. Stop dieting, change your habits, blah, 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 blah. We can talk about what to do if you go through a transit where you want to get a smaller body, and that's fine. That's fine. Sometimes we go through a mood where we want a smaller body. It's not because anyone told us to. It's because we want to. Okay, it's fine to want a smaller body. That's my activism, is big bodies are beautiful, and it's fine to want a smaller body, and it all comes in waves of the chart. It really depends. Oh, here's some Brene Brown. The Gifts of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. Okay, this is body positivity right here. Embrace your chart, embrace who you are. I have to embrace my belly because it's in my chart, right? It's like I could sit there and fight it and be like, eat less. Well, I have Jupiter and Cancer, which likes to eat. Now my boyfriend is Jupiter and Cancer, and he's a total feeder. Like, Cancers are such feeders, and we all know it. And he loves to feed me. He loves to watch me eat. Not watch me eating it like that way, but like he loves to like go out to eat with me. You know what I'm saying? And like if I was like super parsimonious about everything I ate, it would just really cramp down on our Jupiter and Cancers. So I just think, embrace who you are, embrace who your chart is, and enjoy yourself. If your chart wants to be a super skinny mini, your chart, not someone telling you that, that's fine. You can be a tiny biny. Okay. This one is interesting. Relation of the mineral salts of the body to the signs of the zodiac. Now that is cool. Mineral salts. What? Look at this. There's a body on here. I bet you guys, some of you probably knew how much body astrology there was. Maybe some of you didn't. But I think, looking into the body and astrology is one of the most fascinating uses of astrology because people look just like their chart. People wonder how astrologers can guess their sign so hardcore. It's like, well, you look like your sign. Like, for example, I'm wearing black lipstick. I'm super Scorpio, although some people think I'm a Libra. But the thing is I have black lipstick on, and you could guess I was Scorpionic because of my black lipstick. Coloring is in the chart. We can look at astro coloring, eye coloring. Now, of course, that depends on your genetic seed and your, genetic race, what coloring the chart will lay upon you. But that's something to consider. We always consider culture, or genetics, culture, climate in the chart. We always consider those 4 things. So, how our body looks really depends on our genetics. It also depends on the culture we're in, the climate we're in, and also our astrology. So, of course, if you have a robust astrological chart and you're growing up in a sumo wrestler culture, you're going to have a big, beautiful body, and everyone's going to love you for it. If you grow up in a culture that's fat shaming, then you're going to have a big, robust body with a bunch of shame around you. So we always look at those layers: your genetics, your culture, your climate, and the chart. We can analyze this AstroBodies topic from all of those levels. If you're a fat activist, we would love to have you on the show. I reached out to two of my favorite fat activists, and they could not come on the show. Oh my God, I can't find my fat activism book. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the books I want to start with, is fat activism. Hold on, I'm going to grab it. Look at my belly. Oh my God, there it is. Here comes my belly back in the screen. Oh my God, do you love me less? Oh my God. I love me the same because I'm just my chart. Okay, this book, I really want to read this book with you guys. Fat Activism, A Radical Social Movement. I reached out to Charlotte Cooper to see if she could be on the show, and she is too busy. She wrote this book, but this book is awesome, and I want us to study fat activism because talking about AstroBodies is a form of activism, because we're saying that some charts are big. I don't necessarily... The word fat is kind of loaded, and like if I said like some charts are fat, that would be weird. But like if I said like some charts are big, some people are big. If you have 10 planets in Taurus, you are supposed to be a big mountain of beautiful earth and have a big beautiful outfit on. And like I would reclaim the word fat and be like, fat is awesome. But, you know, that fat activism is a thing, and it is a radical social movement that we are going to study, because the first thing we have to do is get rid of the idea that all people are supposed to be thin. Because as astrologers, we are supposed to celebrate the individuality and diversity that exists in our clients. So we have to do a little fat activism to get ourselves out of that thin state of thinking, that people who are big are unhealthy and blah, 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 blah. The fat activists do all kinds of work on these things, and that's what we are going to do reading this book. This is probably one of the first books we're going to read in this series. All right, one of the producers on the show sent me this book, which I just like tossed to the side. I was like, no, thank you on that book. But but this producer does want to come on the show and talk about it, because his chart has 2 planets in Virgo, and it's like he is just like all about like trying to get thin, like that's his jam. And I'm like, my Pisces is just horrified, like we should just love our bodies how they are. And anyway, he is a Pisces opposed Virgo, so he's like got both. He's like got love yourself and also try to get thin. So he sent me this book, Bright Line Eating, The Science of Living Happy, Thin, and Free. Boring. I want to be happy and free. I just want to be happy and free. I don't want to be happy, thin, and free. I just don't care. No, I care, don't care. No, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to care. Do you want to care? I think the activism of astrology says that bodies of all shapes exist under God's earth, and God has made, or creation has made all of these charts, some of them big, some of them small, and to be, you know, trying to get thin is just not the jam for astrologers. Trying to celebrate the telos, what is growing here, is the jam. Okay, now if someone goes through a transit and their Saturn hits their moon and they want to get thin for a while, I mean, people gain their weight back on other transits, but you want to do all your transits, the ones where you're trying to get smaller, the ones where you're trying to get bigger, that's fine to do all of them. Then you can maybe read a book like this. We'll have to study the book and see if it's worthy of our time. All right, well, I hope you're excited for the AstroBodies show. I am so excited for the show. If you want to be on the show, let me know. We're looking for activists, people who are big-bodied and healthy and want to tell us all about it. We would talk to people who are small-bodied and healthy. We want to talk to people, how do you feel like you look like your chart? Do you have tattoos and you want to tell us about how they're in your chart or they're related to your chart? Do you want to be on this show? Because we would love to have you. We're starting this show and we're going to go on indefinitely until we get through all of our material here. So, and more, right? I mean, AstroBodies are something we need to talk about. All right, thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.